Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with TSM's owner, Reginald. Reggie, thank you so much for joining me here between games here. I have to ask you, though, TSM, of course, such a strong-looking team, but like a lot of other teams in the league, you didn't make that many off-scene changes. Just kind of wondering why you didn't want to change too much in the off-season.
Yeah, so in my opinion, League of Legends is a team game, and teamwork is a lot more important. We prioritize communication and team synergy in the off-season, and I'm really happy with our roster. So I'm looking forward to the season.
Awesome, and of course, with that, there was so much new talent being brought into the league as well. Are you guys worried at all? What do you think of all the talent that's kind of been imported this split?
To be quite honest with you, I think that a lot of the team owners don't really know what they're doing. They're importing Korean talent over without knowing how to place them into their rosters. So teams like Dignitas, Echo Fox, I don't think they're going to do that well. So we're going to have to see. I mean, I could be wrong, right? But I think they're going to probably place bottom half for sure.
Well, fair enough there. And of course, your team finished last, of course, in the end of last year. And I just have to say, TSM's been such a strong team, the winningest team in the North American LCS. A lot of teams have won twice in a row. What are the chances of defending the title this split?
I think that Cloud9, is looking strong. I think that Immortals, several other teams are looking strong too. But I would have to say that we're going to be the clear favorites this year. It's going to be a close fight for second, though.
Love it, as always. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Reggie. Strong words, as always, from the event, but we're going to throw it back to the caster desk for game number 2.
Thank you very much, Pace, for your time. And I like to see that Reggie was able to throw shade against a team he wasn't even playing yet. It's just, I enjoyed the shots added to other team owners and what he thinks is correct to do when you're joining your team and making your roster for the next season. We're going to see how it goes. Of course, the teams are getting ready to get back on stage and getting ready to get back into the next game. And so, got to see if TSM can respond to that C9 Game 1 win.
Biggest thing I think I want to see TSM respond to is the pick and ban, right? Because I mentioned the stat at the end of the game, right? But that's not really fair to Wild Turtle if you're like, oh yeah, Sneaky did the most and he did the least. They did not match the champions picked or the roles picked in the first half of the ban phase. So TSM saw this first pick, Ashe, from Cloud9, did not take up the Jhin when they had the chance,
right,
or anything in the top tier. So Cloud9's second phase ban gets the target Turtle. They drop him even further down the AD carry list. He goes into the Kalista.
Right.
Unless they're really planning on doing that from the very beginning, he did get the short end of the stick in the draft phase at least.
Yeah.
So not really setting up with a lot of help for his first game, with the new squad again.
And by contrast, you think about it, C9 spent their second phase bans on Wild Turtle. TSM spent their second phase bans against Impact, and he does great on Shen.
Exactly. We're talking about with this Maokai, right?
Yeah.
Impact, he can play so many different champions, and even though they target, the Nautilus and the Poppy, which are like,
the other
very,
big tanks,
very similar, and Maokai would be happy to go against them anyway. He picks up the Shen. Shen is instrumental in Cloud9's cross map, 1-3-1 assassins play. They make picks on the other side. They've got the shield so that Jensen, when he goes in on the Fizz, doesn't have to worry about that weakness. And even though he gets exhausted, he lives through it multiple times and is still able to get off the damage. So the Shen, I just feel like everything really came together with Cloud9, whereas TSM, maybe caught a little bit unprepared because, as we said as well, not only do we have 5 bans now, you only have 30 seconds after you see the new information of your enemy's picks before you get to decide on yours, and it's very, very quick.
Yeah, and one of the things that can be kind of minor, but it can mean a lot, is in 2016 rules, when you pick 2 champions at the same time, you got 60 seconds and you decided both champions. And so if it took you 50 to pick one and then 10 for the other, that was okay. Yeah. And here, you've got to pick the first champion in 30, and then you get a new 30 for the second one. So you've got to kind of decide, like, okay, well, pick one of 2 needs to be this, and you need to figure out a little bit sooner. And sometimes that can make your life a little bit harder. Both teams do have some double pick phases, so it's not like it's only one team that has this difficulty, this new difficulty, but just is what it is. That I know coming into the season, I had seen several analysts and coaches talk about it being difficult to play with the new picks and bans, where suddenly you've got a new banning phase to deal with. It's only 30 seconds long. This might be really hard, and I think we'll find teams that are I think the great
get good.
Yeah, and I agree, but I think we will see teams that learn how to play around new restrictions better.
Yeah, it's so interesting to track too. And I think it develops really nicely the longer that the pros are able to play on the new season and on the patch, because you get more comfortable with these other counter picks. Maybe someone specializes in a counter pick that they don't quite have to worry about another power pick as much as another team, and that definitely changes the dynamic. Here we go, though. These power picks have been undisputed. Camille and LeBlanc off the table from TSM red side ban. Meanwhile, Cloud9, they do go for the Rise ban. They're aimed at Bjergsen again.
All right, we'll see what the final ban ends up being as far as S-tier type champions go. Rengar is still up on the table, and you saw TSM respect Banda as their very first ban of the league, and they're going to do it yet again, and it's TSM hamstrung banning 3 S-tiers, and immediately Lee Sin gets hovered.
Exactly. We talked about Sven Skaren's Lee Sin and how he did great at Worlds, and he was dazzling people. Contracts also known for his Lee Sin. Very, very skilled jungler here, especially on the champion. So it's definitely a possibility that they lock it in, and there they do go for it.
Right.
It's really his time to shine, right? His Kazakhs game was great. Yeah, he was set up pretty nicely by the bottom lane, burning a bunch of summoners, and then moved in for the first blood.
Sure.
But he made multiple really good, team fight maneuvers as well with the Kazakhs. Only really got completely blown up and exhausted one time, which is pretty good versus Azira.
Absolutely true. So now, if the story is Wild Turtle Redemption, how about getting the exact same champion that Sneaky played and did so well on, subjectively with Ash Arrows and objectively with his damage score?
And I have to say, though, I don't think Cloud9 will make the same mistake. Now that the Ashe has been locked in for TSM, Cloud9, your next phase, I think you get your AD carry, because you don't want to get double banned past the Varus, right? I think Sneaky's very fine playing a Varus. He could obviously opt for a Jhin or an Ezreal as well. But I really do think it will be that Varus. Meanwhile, TSM still have one more pick left up. Do they want to actually answer the Lee Sin, or would they rather dictate another role, support possibly here?
I love it.
Picked here for TSM. Now, flex picks is another thing that's amazing in the first pick phase, because yeah, you can't exactly double ban and be sure that you're getting full value there. Malzahar can go mid lane. I would say it's maybe a 90-10 though, or maybe 95-10.
I would say it's 94. Well, 95-10. I don't think I would buy it. Hey, okay, Mr. Math.
I got you.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's a 95-5 support as far as support to mid lane goes. So you should almost always expect Jhin.
And there's the Varus.
Yeah, there's the Varus. Varus and Jhin again. Both would have been fine for him, but yeah. They grab it, and now they got to make their last choices here. Do they mirror the support picks? Because if they don't, TSM can double ban support in their second phase. Or do they pick a new role and say, I dare you to match us here?
I also think that double banning support when you have the early Malzahar pick is really high value too. So you definitely do have to worry about that. So usually we don't want to talk about hoverovers, but I was going through like possible picks into Malzahar. This is a flex pick as well from Cloud9.
Yeah.
Do not be fooled. Yes, Nautilus is very common in top lane and is a very good top lane, Courage of the Colossus, or even Grass if you really want to, for the top lane.
Sure.
But he also is one of those ones you can't play into the Malzahar. If you land your hook, yeah, Malzahar has his shield, but it still pulls you close. And he's got so many forms of CC, you can still go for it. He can't stop the Malzahar ultimates if he knocks off the shield first. So yeah, this one, along with, the Zyret probably is better, but Zyret's banned. So I think this is also a good answer to the Malzahar support.
Okay. I think it definitely requires some significant outplay skills. I think it can be very difficult. And you're seeing actually TSM almost wanting them to play Nautilus support. The Karma is the first ban here for TSM.
It does have a very high, one of the highest win rates into Malzahar as far as high yellow solo queue is concerned. So does have the numbers on his side. TSM though, they did end up answering roles this time. Answered with the jungle, so it's just going to be a Fiora ban here from Cloud9 for the top lane, taking out some of the ones that can kind of overpower and carry from the top lane. That may signal, or they may be baiting. You can go baiting with your second round picks as well. Baiting the top lane, baiting them into thinking that the top lane is the Nautilus, or very well going through with it. And Jace is obviously the other one of the top lane carries that's highly prized at the moment.
Jace is really funny because the stats I have for Jace pick ban-wise is, I can find it in a second. He's been, according to the stats I have in front of me, 4 picks, 14 bans. Like, he's seen about half of games, but 80% of those visibilities are just as bans, that people are more afraid of him than they actually play him. He's just the ubiquitous, well, you haven't picked a mid lane or top laner yet, so Jace. It's always a good ban.
The drawback is, of course, if the other team, plays something like Poppy into it and just outlasts you, and then has a big presence for
Yeah.
5-on-5 team fighting later. So yeah, there are drawbacks, even though he's very strong up there currently. Meanwhile, we do have a Trundle pickup here for TSM, and that will be in theoretical answer to this Nautilus.
Yeah, we can still wait to see if they flex it after all. Of course, we don't even know for sure, definitely, that it's mid lane or support Malzahar, so still an option to flex at the very end for TSM. Syndra will be the pickup for Jensen, so plays the champion that his lane opponent Bjergsen did in the last one. And as they hover over the last final pick, they're looking at a tank support right now. Still have to see what it will be for sure.
Yeah. Ooh, Tarek. Right, we got some Tarek for the bottom lane here for Cloud9 into the Malzahar. Can't get off that line stun when they try and charge at you. Tarek would get into some trouble, getting harassed quite a lot if they do grow aggressively though. So you pretty much have to have jungler presence if you're gonna go for one of those stuns. Oh, we get the counter pick Katarina.
Yes, we do. All right. This is going to be fun. Kobe, go ahead.
Bjergsen has been playing this almost non-stop on stream, and it does not look fair even to opponents. Something to keep in mind, you don't even have to wait till you're level 6. Level 3 power spike on Katarina is absolutely insane. Jensen does know this though, and he'll definitely be playing defensively around that or calling contracts to try and counter it. Katarina at level 3 with those first 3 normal abilities has a huge potential to all in you. So if Bjergsen takes Ignite, then I think it gives too much of a tell. And Jensen will immediately just call contracts and they'll try and play off that and counter it. But even so, sometimes she can get kills through that, and then you get your reset on your Shenpo. You can get out in some scenarios, and that's the way that she can snowball early. Now, Cloud9, theoretically, I think that Jensen, he's played this champion a lot as well, and I think they'll be able to play around that and won't get caught in that trap. But you do have to keep your eyes on that mid lane. Explosive champion here after the rework, and very excited to see Bjergsen get his hands on it in a matchup that he's choosing.
And it's backs against the wall as well, right? He saw his opponent, so you're right, he must feel comfortable in the battle, but at the same time, they now need to win 2 straight against C9 to pull this series back in. I mean, TSM went 17-1 in matches last split. They should not want to start slow here with their first match in the 2017 split being a loss. So TSM hoping to pull themselves back in. The C9 fans happy that it started 1-0 so far, but game 2 of the best of 3 is ready to go. Cloud9 taking on TSM. They swap sides and they are ready to go onto the Rift. C9 1-0 against TSM.
Whew. All right, so just because I think it's funny when a whole bunch of people play more Katarina in solo queue, let's give a little tips and tricks so people at home can try it out. Even though the average player actually has a very low win rate with the champion, but pros think it's OP.
Worth noting, buying mana, really important, just like Bjergsen did. Buy plenty of mana on Katarina. What's your tip?
All right, let's let the chance go through.
If you don't TSM, you'll do better.
Trundle Dance is one of the only ones that I will stop for and pause for because the taunt is hilarious. But so your basic Katarina chase pattern, you're gonna almost, maybe 90% of the time use your W right after your Shun Po, and then immediately transition into your Death Lotus so that your dagger, when your dagger takes a while to fall, when it falls on you in your Death Lotus, you get that burst of damage, it resets your Shun Po, or it gives you most of the cooldown back, so then you can get another one. You throw your Q so it bounces off of them. It will always bounce in a line right behind them, and then you can use that to chase. Meanwhile, we've got some, oh, he's going in!
Here we go, the jump is forward. Biofrost not going to get stunned, actually, but look at the Voidlings working through these health bar. Ashe is slowing, and yes, the flash forced out.
Perfect preview of what we talked about with not being able to go aggressive, as he actually got some gold off at least one Voidling. They did kill one, but yeah, that's what happens when you go aggressive on the Malzahar as a melee support. You get those Voidlings spawned on you, and you don't really have an escape. Now he actually doesn't have an escape because Flash was blown, and Smoothie immediately has to play super defensively, as well as Sneaky now tied to that. Let's see what TSM does with that early advantage.
See, right now, it's just a bunch of lane pressure. Smoothie has to be so incredibly respectful of the damage output they can have here. Being okay, a nice stun lands, that's cute and everything, but there's Voidlings in the way, and
10, 20.
Oh, beautiful. So it's worth noting, by the way, that Voidlings are not counting as CS in the bottom scoreboard, so you're not going to have inflated numbers for the C9 duo, but they are still worth 10 gold apiece, and that can be nice.
Yeah, any gold is good gold. Shopkeeper will even take slimy voidling gold.
That's true. I don't know why they're carrying gold around in their pockets. You'd think they wouldn't need it in the void, but just the way it is.
Just the way it is. Meanwhile, junglers, once again, we talked about last game, assassins in the mid lane does attract a lot of jungler presence. Katarina, as well, is one of those, and he is not level 3 yet, but level 2 going for it.
Wow, plenty of damage already there. Jensen burns his flash to get away. Svensson burns his flash to get in.
He has to be insanely careful now in the mid lane. A Syndra without the flash is perfect prey. Bjergsen is pushing up the lane right now, though, so... Svenskeren gets hit up with a QQ from Contract.
And I think he was late on the knockup as well. He failed to dodge the damage. You can normally do that if you're mechanically proficient enough.
Yeah, it's a good point, Freak. Immediately in this matchup, one of the reasons why a lot of people feel comfortable with Rek'Sai in the current state of the game into Lee Sin, but maybe not the other of the high-tier junglers, is that anytime he does land it, all you have to do is click a move on the ground, or whatever you have that bound to, so you can get those unburrows as he's coming in. Now, the harder ones come from when he's going to someone else and you're trying to interrupt him in the air.
Yeah.
You can interrupt the damage if you interrupt him, connecting. So the really high tier plays will come from him interrupting Lee Sin safeguards, or Lee Sin Q flashes when he's trying to insect people, insect your teammates.
Sure, yeah. And in rare form, actually, TSM not winning a fan vote. That is actually a rarity. So first of the season, TSM losing a fan vote. That is insane. Right now, though, their bot lane looking pretty reasonable, +3 CS, and you can see Smoothie down to 1 potion, and Sneaky has none, which makes this look pretty good for the TSM duo.
All right back in there. Sustain from Tarek enables them to take those hits. So early advantage there from TSM. They weren't able to pressure it too much, and it's part of the reason for the pick of Tarek here. Any sort of sustain is always good against the Mals. Meanwhile, we do see some junglers both heading to the top side. The reason Contracts runs right by that plant there is when you pop that plant, the enemy team can see it also in Fog of War. So yeah, you do get the extra vision. You can kill. Oh! God. Immediately changing direction right after your flash. And Contracts does not hold the Q.
See how much damage they can do to Biofrost there. Like, yes, you can hit the Voidling to do damage to Sneaky, but get back pretty well.
And they have to get Haunter back in here to get these minions. So Svenskeren was already up on the top side, just hangs around so that the duo of Cloud9 can't force Haunter off of those minions. He does teleport right back in, so not punished there, and actually will pull ahead in CS, by the way, off of this last wave. Just barely.
Missed one, unlucky. 3v right there, 35 thanks to the ward. Appreciate it, Contract. Of course, you saw the Lee Sin rushed for the early Smite Stone. I've seen many different builds on Lee Sin. Some rush for longswords for better one-on-one trading. Contracts wants the wards to jump to. As a style choice, that's what he's going for this game, and it means more flashy plays for the jungler for C9.
Yeah, most of the high-rated junglers will opt for that. You can go for the red smite, for the dueling power, but I take my cues from Peanut.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think green smite is definitely the best smite upgrade. I've just seen a lot of longsword openings.
Oh yeah, true. True. You can also opt for earlier kill power. Does even help with clear speed as well. But as I said, there still is attention up on this top side.
Yeah.
These junglers are fighting over their ward coverage.
No flash for Sven makes him a slightly easier target, and no TP for top laners means if you get the kill, they're going to miss out on a lot. Nice knockup by Sven, going for the trade. Been damaged out there. Construct's at a half HP, but his cooldowns come back up first. Look at the damage he gets on his Sven. Pushing him out, 300 HP left, and Rek'Sai is out of there.
Yeah, red smite not needed. Lee Sin, no long swords, no red smite. Still is going to be able to take that one because Rek'Sai is going for the very early health to build into that. Ooh, let's see. Mid lane, actually, Bjergsen goes in.
A lot of damage there. Jensen does have ulti available. Exhaust is on. E's going to land. There's the ulti. It's enough damage. The Q lands, and he takes it home.
Back-to-back first bloods for Contracts in his North American LCS debut.
Beautifully done. The hype so far is justified. And you can see their stats from before. If they got the first bloods, they were winning games. And they may do so here.
Contracts bullies Svenskeren out of his own jungle there. Yeah, he's playing Lee Sin, and you're going to go for those invades, but Bjergsen knew that he was just up there bullying his own jungler out and still goes deep into the minion wave for this. You see, the whole reason for this game, this is just an opportunity that is presented to Contracts, right? Bjergsen goes for the minion wave, boom. Jensen is able to stun it up so that he has to use his Shunpo to get back half the distance, and then all he's got is Flash. Nice Q landing there from Contracts. He could land that, by the way, so much easier because of the exhaust slow that Jensen immediately placed on to Bjergsen.
I want to call it the fact that Bjergsen went Hex Drinker, because that I hadn't thought of. I mean,
Hex Drinker?
Katarina has good AD ratio. It's not like you miss out on the ability to play Katarina by building attack damage. It is probably the best hybrid MR damage item she can buy.
Interesting. Yeah, I do like that as well. I mean, usually when you see the longsword starts and stuff from Katarina, you're thinking, oh yeah, Gunblade is coming super quick. And he still could go it, right?
Sure.
It's just that, yeah. So he's going to have that early shield. That's one of those items that has a very high impact in the game right when you buy it, especially if you buy it early. That flat shield value is ginormous. We'll see if it does end up saving him. Regardless of, nice purchase, he has died and did give over that kill to the Lee Sin. We'll see what Contracts can do with his extra money, because now he's got some extra combat power.
It's going to be interesting to watch. Of course, despite dying, Bjergsen's still pretty close in farm numbers, but it's Cloud9 holding the 6,500 gold lead right there. Hanser, again, funding his trade towards Impact. Hanser, by the way, didn't expect this, but actually going further of battle here on the Trundle means if he can stay alive in these fights, will do plenty of damage, but Impact taking shorter trades, triggering Grasp, and getting a lot out of it.
Yeah, Hanser is also going with the Cull. You can put down your Frozen Domain, gain a lot of life, but he's getting whittled down over and over. Nautilus is a so strong early game.
Hanser's already burned ult for the region. Now it's going to be a kick into the wall, and Contracts make it 2-0. Impact says, hey, ult's down. He's low. Come up here. Happy to be opportunistic. Nice kill.
Nautilus, of those tanks up in the top lane, we mentioned them in the same breath as Poppy as well as Maokai, but his early lane is actually probably the best of those three, and his punishment right there actually does result in something. A lot of the time you don't see it result in much, and you're like, you know what, whatever, Maokai will outscale him, but right there, he's whittling the Trundle under his turret, and Contracts comes up, another well played. Yes, it is an opportunity that's set up for him by his laner, but good presence of mind by Contracts, routing to get there, whereas Svenskeren does not get there for the defense, for the counter gank, and Cloud9 off to another early lead.
And I want to talk about C9's individual player skill. A lot of people had C9 power ranked as actually the best team in North America, above TSM, calling Contracts an upgrade, and everyone else playing well. In the regular split, I think Hanser was a better player than Impact. Hanser was voted, all North American top laner. Impact was, in the thing. Yeah, 2016 summer, 90% of the season, that was the case. When playoffs came around, Impact suddenly became the best top player in North America. The top Dian meme was born, and the question was, will we see playoff Impact or regular season Impact? This looks like playoff Impact. He's been doing repeatedly well into Hanser, and right here you see the kill payoff.
Yeah, exactly, and not just, playoffs either. Impact has continued to play well for the duration, basically. At Worlds, he was quite good as well, so yeah, I think he is here to stay, even though they do have that sub. They've got Ray on the team as well. Having a sub like that, though, who's also an LCS caliber top laner, can even be great practice for him. They can get even better as well. Just trading against each other. 10-ban system, you need to play a lot more champions. So, that type of close practice partner is invaluable.
And heck, if the metagame turns into all Jarvan and Fiora top games, guess who wants to play these champions more often? So, yeah, it might just be a style thing based on what kind of teams you're against even.
All right, meanwhile, down on the bottom side of the map, there's been a lot of movement around this Drake. It is with that Infernal Drake that everyone loves. Oh, does land a Varus ult.
Biofrost has flash. The chain stuns come in. There he gets over the wall. The flash Q is going to connect once again. Contracts is 3-0, 100% kill share, and out he goes over the blast plant.
Contracts, he just keeps poking at the enemy team, looking for this, confrontation. Finally, it does emerge there. This time, it's Sneaky who sets him up. He lands the Varus ultimate. Oh, actually, Sven's going for the steal!
He wants it, not going to get it. Contracts kicks him out, and now Sven is on the run. Nice flash to get the stun for Smoothie, and who else? But Contracts gets the last hit, 4-0, 5 if you count the Drake.
You can tell that TSM are feeling the pressure here. Going for a suicide steal here on the Infernal. Uh-oh, it might just keep going here.
Okay, Wild Turtle. He doesn't have an ult, so he can't die. All right, he's fine. We're good, he's fine.
All right, well, slow down for a second, but that turret's going to take some beating while we do it. That Infernal Drake there, Svenskeren was just going for a full-on suicide steal against the Lee Sin with the ultimate. Turtle, though, ultimate as well.
Oh, well, Turtle switched. Why he switched and hit Sneaky for a second instead of staying on Smoothie, and the Voidlings might not be enough damage. Turtle picks the wrong target and it lets Smoothie get away. That is a kill given up by a misclick of TSM's marksman.
Ooh. All right, looks like Contract's actually invading in the jungle because they see Svenskeren down here. Mark of, most good junglers immediately vision on Svenskeren. Contracts, he reacts. In there, stealing topside jungle. He might even look to dive. Bjergsen, Jensen stopped his recall. I think they made the call for it. He was going to recall and he stopped. They're forcing him off the minion wave.
He burned Bjergsen's flash during that bot lane fight. There was a battle going on, so him missing a summoner now means the fight into the bot lane. Smoothie's ult is down. The damage going to come through. They are going to make it pay off. Turtle flashing into the turret just like he always used to. Gets one picked up. Sneaky could be next. The damage is there. Hanser under the turret now forced to run. And thankfully for him, the pillar blocks the hook. Impact can't secure it. Flashes, but doesn't land the shot on Turtle.
Contracts is coming down the jungle as well.
He knows he's
Turtle is definitely dead, so he's just trying to lead him away from his teammates. TSM scrambling to get out.
And Svenskeren in a world of hurt. Couple more shots. Jumps over the wall with the plant. Who's going to be there? Who's going to find it? The Shark is running away. There's minions now.
I'm trying to decide. I think you give it to the Lee Sin. Don't die. Yeah, don't die to the mid laner.
It's curious because it means an assist was given up. Another 150 total gold was given away to C9. I'm not sure. It's still debatable, I think, to a certain extent.
I almost always opt for not giving the kill to the
Yeah.
enemy mid laner just because my mid laner will then flame me more.
Yeah, and Turtle made that choice, though. He actually suicided specifically to Impact. No assist given to Contract or anyone else roaming down, so.
How you die is important.
It really is. Don't burn flash if you're already guaranteed to go down. Things like this are really relevant.
All right, meanwhile, Sneaky does land another Varus ultimate onto Hanser and closes in for some damage.
Nice stun's gonna land right there. This could be everything he needs. He's not gonna get enough damage. Nicely done, Sneaky. He gets the takedown on Hanser, who just didn't have the ward coverage to make that push safe.
Yeah. Throws down pillar there, but not gonna mean anything for him. Sneaky gonna push up the lane. And then let's see if this tower's very low. This could be another first turret game for Cloud9. I think there's nothing that will contest him. Smoothie opting to give solo gold. Yes, he is.
He should. And that's first turret of the game. It's a significant chunk. 650 goes Sneaky's way. 2 kills worth of gold in his pockets. Richest member of the game is, in fact, Sneaky. He's 64 gold ahead of Contracts with this.
That's saying something, because Contracts has 5 kills
Yeah.
to his name. And as strong as Jungle is right now, this is such an all-star game here for him right now. What a great start to his LCS career.
Absolutely.
Long awaited and definitely delivering. That one was
protecting Smoothie.
It was meant for Bjergsen, and Contract, no harm, no foul there for him. Bjergsen, though, on the Katarina, really hoping for, TSM. They are again in defensive position, right? They have to just turtle right now under their turrets and hope for a dive from Cloud9 and then try and get something in the aftermath. Create a little chaos. Katarina is going to need an opening, maybe from a Malzahar ultimate. Biofrost is coming through.
He's dead.
Okay,
Goodbye.
3 people is going to be pretty good.
Takes him one flash. Midlane's going to go down in response. But hey, a kill's a kill, and TSM finally gets something on the board.
A kill is definitely good for Bjergsen, not only because of the gold, but Dark Steel stacking up as well. You get 2 more stacks for him.
I got you. It's 10 AP total, 3 AP per stack, so 6 AP total.
Meanwhile, Bjergsen takes a Thunderlord proc trade from Jensen. Meanwhile,
Ooh, the Hex Drinker saves his life.
So much warding here on the top side for Cloud9. If you check in on the vision game here for TSM, not only are they having to play defensively under their turrets, but they can't even see any of Cloud9's moves coming. The defensive vision is even difficult for them, right? Because they've lost not only the top first turret, but mid lane turret went down. Even though they got that kill, they lost a lot more territory.
And TSM getting choked out of the map. The only objectives they've gained have been the 3 kills. No turrets, no drakes, no nothing. And now, I actually wonder who's going to get this Impact or Contract. I can see it making sense on either side, but with how much Impact has been winning his matchup against Hanser, I feel like tilting that even farther is helpful, and Sven actually sends the plant kind of the wrong way, doesn't see that it's happening.
Yeah, I wonder if Cloud9 even stopped that if they are seen. I mean,
Yeah.
they have plenty of vision on the other side. They're not too worried. Uh-oh.
Turtle in a bad world right now. CC's gonna be chained back and forth. He flashes away. One more auto. Gets the crit. 30% chance and it lands. Sneaky now gonna run for dear life.
He's got no flash.
Pops the passive on Biofrost. A bit of a late ulti for Smoothie. I don't know if it was on cooldown or what, but doesn't save his teammate. Now he's gonna be next, and 2 quick kills picked up the roam for TSM, saving the lives.
Exactly. Another roam here from Bjergsen does get him a kill as well. So another couple stacks, more money in his pocket. That teleport from Hanser, he was able to get those 2 kills for TSM. They're trying to get back into it. Bjergsen!
Jensen versus Bjergsen, exhaust trade, and that's gonna be the kill picked up. Hexdrinker does get actually blown through, doesn't even matter. Sent the knockup onto the satchel plant, and that looked weird. And Contracts flew the other way, I'm pretty sure is what happened.
I feel like we were behind and they fast forward or something. Regardless,
Either way.
Cloud9 getting more kills, baby.
All right, now Hanser running for dear life because Impact is gigantic and Nautilus looks pretty solid in this matchup. Goes for the stun. Contract's not far behind, but he's not quite in range to jump to his teammates just yet. More CC landed, and Impact might just take the solo kill, but he can't quite do it. The pillar buying a lot of time as well, and Contracts can't get past Svenskar, and so with the sliver of health, Hanser lives.
Man, such a big snowball here from Cloud9. In this game, they've got the teamfight presence and teamfight comp to back this lead up, right? They're going to be able to go with a more simple game this time around. Just collect all my dragons, collect the outer turrets, just try and do it by the numbers. You move up your ward lines into the enemy jungle to remove their options. You keep Impact on the front line. Smooth is going to be right there with them. They've got ridiculous amounts of crowd control. Every single person on Cloud9 is bringing more CC, AoE CC to this teamfight.
Absolutely. Here goes the rest of the turret. And finally, one on the board for TSM. 4,000 gold, the deficit to make up. Down 2 Drakes as well, and even down the Rift Herald on Impact. We'll see his Contracts has free reign over the map right now. Level 11, gets himself a red buff, no problem. And he is going for a pretty attack damage focused build. You can see him looking to finish Maul Mortius, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Conquer double longsword, so a pretty offensively Sin build.
I mean, he got 5 kills
Sure.
early on. And we've seen the dividends that it pays when you do go for double attack damage items. Lee Sin, since the removal of Strength of the Ages, pretty much 100% go with the Thunderlords, and Thunderlords scaling nicely off of flat attack damage. Even gets more damage out of that, so the burst from Lee Sin is very, very scary here for any TSM member. Even the, quote-unquote tank, which is not building tank yet, the split pushing Trundle here, really has to respect that burst damage as well, because Trundle, with this lifesteal style and split push style, you want to be able to steal a lot of that back, but Lisa does so much in such a quick burst that it doesn't even give you time to.
Absolutely the case, and being behind never makes it easy either. 4,000 gold difference right here. Cloud9 looking to continue the push forward. Contracts finds a friend. Hello, Bjergsen, kick into the wall. Q, Exhaust is in to buy a bit of time. And gets the follow anyway. Yeah, Exhaust timed out. The rest of the damage was there. Goodbye to Bjergsen. Exhaust meant nothing.
All right, Cloud9 also picking off the straggling TSM members. TSM, they are, losing their cool a little bit here. Yeah, they're behind, and it's very difficult to shot call from behind, and you feel like you're pent up behind your own turrets. They're going for a play here, though.
Looking for the damage in the Contract silences, and now the invulnerability in effect, and Wild Turtle gonna run out of HP pretty fast. Sneaky gets the snipe out of that one. Svenskar running away. Biofrost low as well. Contracts gonna get body blocked away and can't land the Sonic Wave afterwards, but another kill picked up, more control of the mid lane, C9 pushing farther.
Full control of the game. They've got extra kills. They're pushing with the minion wave. They have plenty of vision. Baron is already surrounded by 4 control wards, so they can push as much as they want until Turtle revives, and then easily move back to the Baron. Remember that every single person is bringing that AoE CC as well, so it's so scary for TSM to blind face check. But they really don't have very many options. Scrying Orb, they have 1 Scrying Orb on Turtle that is ready, that they should probably use early. Hawkshot is down now, and they don't have too many more answers. Scrying Orb still available. Turtle's holding onto it.
And Turtle's not going for the Essence Reaper build, so it means fewer Ash arrows and fewer Hawk shots as well, actually. And by going for IE, just can't cast it quite as much. Sneaky, meanwhile, very low cooldown to his. Going for Essence Reaper into also Infinity Edge, so very high damage. Is maxing W left in a lot of Varus builds out there. This is the very spellcastery one where Q and E are maxed.
Yeah, I mean, I like the other build as well. You know, that attack speed build with the Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah.
Quite interesting and does, you know, have a lot of early power.
Sure.
But, you know, as you said, this one, so low cooldown, is a bit more castery, can get poke damage.
Here comes the difficulty. Impact gonna go for the immediate stun, and Bjergsen just pops immediately. Impact a little bit too tanky. Now the exhaust is on. It means Hansen's gotta run away. Be careful, Impact. Couple more hits will do it, and they're trying to go back and forth, dancing for the damage output that they need. Impact will bite off more than he can chew. In fact, his Hanser taking a bite out of him. And now the chase in, the stun, the flash trade. Nicely done by Hanser, predicting.
He gets out
the
too?
smoothie. He predicts the smoothie flash. Nicely done there. Hanser finally getting one more back on the board here from the top than TSM.
All right, TSM will take that. You know, any bloopers from Cloud9, they really do need to get back into this game, right? So, you know, Impact giving over that kill and Hanser escaping is definitely something that will at least keep their morale up, right? You know, help out with that shot calling, help out with the communication in team. They start to feel a bit better. Yeah, some style points here.
It's the easiest, looks cool Lee Sin trick that you can possibly do. I hit W and clicked an unmoving target. I'm so good at the game. Makes me look cool.
Something
My friends laugh.
Something Freak would spam.
Yeah, oh yeah.
at least
And then I'm on a
attempted
14-second cooldown, and my W's down. It's actually not useful in the slightest, but that's okay. Contracts obviously having a very great game for himself, 7-1. Great now.
day.
Yeah, sure, yes. The first game was awesome too. His Kha'Zix looked pretty solid. 2 first bloods in 2 games. That's got to feel good. And looks like they're going to keep trading for the bot lane. And I wonder if the matchup is tilted now for Hanser. If they even threw this Rift Herald buff, you can see with the Ravenous Hydra in, Impact getting a lot of respect over.
Yeah, it's the Spirit Visage that's on top of everything. We talk about, you know, stealing life.
Yeah.
Spirit Visage is very clearly going to add a bunch extra to that. Let's see. In the minion wave, actually, there's no way that he's not going to have enough life. So you can leave minions even to lifesteal off later. He's going for the long con here.
Neither dealt any damage to the other, in fact.
Look at the mini-map, though. All of Cloud9 are coming. This is...
Gotta respect Baron, though. You can see TSM at the same sort of time is saying, if you run down and help Impact, we'll steal Baron. Who do you want more, a worm or your teammate?
Yeah, Baron, very risky when you're behind this much.
Sure.
To go for with, you know, somebody not dead. But remember, we got to look at ways, you know, for the team that is behind to get back into this. Ash Arrow from Turtle to pick someone off who's on the side, and Bjergsen to go delete them quickly. That's the key word, is they need to kill kills quickly to get some gold in their pockets to actually try and fund the rest of their game. Because right now, they're just looking for little baby steps, you know, wherever they can get them on the side, maybe a Fog of War play, try and make use of control wards, and, you know, pick off somebody with Ash Arrow.
So right now, Svenskar and Crest level 13 taking the Raptors down. Biofrost, 1 level away from rank 2 ultimate. His team certainly has some pretty solid lockdown. We've got really no Merc Treads in the C9 lineup, and of course, no one's got QSS for the Mal's ulti, so a pick is a pick.
Yeah. And they're gonna keep splitting, right? You know, Trundle is dedicated to that. That's what he's for. And it looks like, you know, with the Sheen pick up, he actually might be able to make some headway in his 1v1s with Impact. Sheen alone just adds so much damage since he's spamming Bite.
And individually, Hanser is 900 gold above Impact in total earnings right now, and he spent most of that money recently. So theoretically, you expect the champion matchup and the gold lead to mean that Hanser can get some real pressure in, and that's the one consistent lever TSM has. That's not land a skill shot reliant or flash ult someone reliant.
That being said, Impact doesn't have anything to worry about because he can just be pure tank under his turret. And Hanser's not at the point he can ignore the damage from Nautilus.
Yeah.
He can try and get maybe an auto or 2 under the turret before he has to back off and go lifesteal again. But yeah, you can't just completely ignore Impact in that 1v1 quite yet. And Impact can just play defensively, so you know, not going to be able to kill him.
And because of the Tiamat, anytime Hanser tries to lifesteal, he will pull aggro if Impact is under turret because it will splash onto the Nautilus. So that's why a lot of times, even in pro matches, when you see someone winning the matchup, they can't take the turret down because of the risk that's here. And you can see Hanser not even going to try to go for the turret there. He knows he can get chain CC with the wave cleared and not allowed to deal damage there.
Yeah, and that's all that Cloud9 need out of Impact at the moment, because you talked about where the gold is. So much of the gold for TSM is on the top laner.
He's 2,000 gold above anyone else in the team.
Exactly. He is by far their most fed person, because he's off split pushing and collecting all those side waves. But TSM, the 4-man squad, if Hanser is pinned down 1v1 versus Impact here and not getting anything, the 4-man squad for TSM is even more behind the 4-man Cloud9 than you would immediately think from the scoreline.
Absolutely the case. So, difficulty, but TSM, to their credit, have only really managed to give up Drakes in this 4-on-4 map control game, and that's about as painless as you can expect without a catastrophic mistake from Cloud9.
Yeah, and TSM, remember, they are the ones that need to be patient, right? They've had some time to calm down, and they're just going to look for any opportunity that does present itself to jump on, right? And if they do, the key word again is that they have to execute very quickly here, because Cloud9 definitely can collapse, and if they do get caught up in the 5-on-5, it's going to be very rough. So, Ash Arrow into a lot of either Bjergsen, Turtle, or a combination of that with Biofrost would need to be executed. Man, we are jumping all over.
28 minutes in. They don't have easy ways of zoning out Svenskar and the
teleport.
rotation. Yeah, that's TP down. So 5-minute cooldown here for Hanser. Sven on a Hanser as well. Here comes the attempt to steal. Who's it going to be? Nice kick out. He flies. He gets Svenskar and steals the Baron. Now the fight is on. Yes, they'll get the kill, but that is so worth it in every possible way for TSM.
TSM need to kite now. They got the Baron for only 1 death.
Sun's gonna land hook, good flash away by Hanser. The Merc Tread's helping to save his life on that. That was a quarter-second timing.
And they're turning on Smoothie.
No ult for Smoothie, that's gonna be enough damage. No, he's gonna flash over the wall. Quick zoning for Bjergsen, takes up Jensen's ulti. The damage there on the backside, and TSM maybe shouldn't have gone for the 5v4. 2 kills picked up, one of them go to contracts, and now it's a 5 versus 2 on the map.
Definitely shouldn't go for the 5-on-4. Baron buff is so good. Buffs up your minions so it's hard for the enemy to push. And TSM just wanted time. They wanted time to get back in this, but they make the turn on the support here, going for Smoothie. In a 5 versus 4, they're outnumbered, and Cloud9 just reversed everything there. They're gonna be the ones that actually take down the inhibitor, get the extra kills, they get the extra gold.
And the gold lead back to 5,000 for Cloud9, despite the Baron pickup, shrinking it somewhat. And the mid lane minion control gonna mean a ton. That is going to easily overlap with this Mountain Drake spawning again, and Double Mountain is great at closing games.
Very big blunder there. After such a good play, Svenskar gets kicked out of the pit, but instantly flashes back in to steal it. Contracts once again, boop, he's out. But Sven right back in, and he got the spike combo there. The last health I saw was over spike range, so that was a really good and very lucky as well. Whenever you get down to those numbers, you need luck on your side as well, but really well played there by Sven. And then Hanser even gets away. At this point, maybe if you have an opportunity to snag Sneaky or Jensen, you should go for the turn. But man, especially on the Smoothie, who they don't even get, this is just a straight up 5v4 while you're behind.
Yeah, and yeah, even if you do get the kill, it's support tariff is just not that important. And kind of unlucky as that kind of lines up here. 5,000 gold lead. Contracts doesn't even want to take the blue buff. He wants to kill Hanser. There's the kick. Here comes Smoothie. Here comes Jensen over the blast cone as well, and they're going to land that stun. Ash Arrow's going to land. That's Jensen locked out for 4 seconds or more. Smoothie going to try to help, but it's going to come in time. Exhaust on Hanser slows him down. The damage is there. Jensen gets the kill credit. Thanks, Merlinomicon. Makes it a little bit easier. Sven waits around the wings, and TSM kills a ward, but losing Trundle going to hurt him.
Yep. Now they need to... I don't even know. You're going to have to give up that turret, I think, at this point. It looks like the minion wave is really far, so it might take Cloud9 a while to get to it. But Cloud9's going to take this Drake, and they're eventually going to meet up with Sneaky, who's pushing this minion wave, to try and claim that second turret on this bottom side. And I think that TSM just have to give it up. Hanser's going to be down for another, 25 seconds. And they already have to deal with a super minion line, so defensive play here at best.
Here we go. Bot lane under siege, 5v4. TSM, we've seen 4v5s before. You don't like him. That's going to be the runaway. Nice quick void spawn by Biofrost. Guarantees the hook's not going to do much. And out they go. Okay, 6,500. Still, the growing lead for Cloud9, 4 Drakes to 0, making it even better than it looks. They're going to reset one more time as pretty much top lane tier 2, the last easy objective to grab. Baron going to spawn in 3.5. Drake in 6.
Now, as this is the first game that we've seen from either of these retooled teams, a couple of the things, we had questions about, right? We talked about, yes, you're losing Double Lift as, just a great AD carry down in the bottom lane, solo or duo statistics, right, for laning phase, but also the impact that he had on shot calling. Bjergsen was always so vocal about how, Double Lift was also that second shot calling voice and added a lot of the creativity to the calling and really helped him out in stepping up and being that leader for the team. Without him on the team, TSM do look a bit disjointed. And, without access to comms or anything, we're only speculating and
Of course.
it's hard to throw around, but plus it's always harder when you're behind to go for those calls, and TSM were rarely behind last year.
Sure.
But it definitely looks to be a very real case. Meanwhile, on Cloud9 side, so coordinated, and especially in their first game where it was a more risky comp to play, they had really good moves. Here we go for a turret C, Cloud9 though.
Frost locked on the fight for now. Here comes Spencer. Gets a knockup on a Jensen. How many is going to get invulnerable from Smoothie? Looks like just the front line here, the 3 of them. He's going to kite back. Stun's going to land back on a Smoothie. They're focusing the support. Didn't go well last time, and they can't quite reach Jensen to the back. The fight continues. Guardian Angel pops. The redemption heal going to be nice for C9, and it's a 1-kill pickup so far as Contracts has fallen. It's going to be Hanser up next, and it looks like Spencer going to lose his life as well. The tanky Trundle just barely running away. Guardian Angel down. It's up to Bjergsen to try to carry the fight. It's Wild Turtle diving forward. In the same for Biofrost, picking up absolutely everybody, and it's going to be Impact, the last one to fall. He will go down a double for the new AD carry. 4-2 advantage TSM.
Whoa! Turtle able to land the arrow for the re-engage. That landed right when the Taric ultimate fell off, and TSM were able to fight back. Man, what a crucial team fight for TSM to pull back right there. If they lost that one, it was going to be game over. Minions are at their Nexus turret right now. They've already lost one, but TSM hold on to have another team fight, basically.
Yes, they do. It's going to continue on. Turtle finally a good fight for him. Let's watch that again.
All right, so this was the first move there where they get a little bit of tower damage on Impact. Doesn't really stay, but Sven has a great flank here and gets half of Jensen's life. And keep your eyes on Jensen's life because he gets chunked out again and is forced out of the fight when Hanser flashes on him. He almost gets killed, but Smoothie ends up kiting as well and using the redemption. Here goes the secondary turn though, because TSM barely get this one back off of that respawn from Hanser. Impact does get burned down, consistent damage here from Turtle, and they still had the exhaust. Aggressive move there as they go forward, and even though Bjergsen went down, TSM are able to get a little bit of momentum back into this one. Freak, this whole series has been actually,
it's been great.
Very close.
I'm glad we've had comebacks and back and forths and whatnot. Lord Dominic's Regard's now done for Turtle, so he can really cut through the tanks, especially with the GA down on Impact. Contract now has his, making it a bit more difficult, but this is the most damage you're really ever going to see now that Turtle's going to be able to buy. He is very well power spiked. He can hard carry a team fight. Sneaky, not quite as far up there.
Exactly. Turtle on the Ashe, definitely doing a lot of DPS to the front line of Cloud9, but we also have to mention the ultimate from Biofrost. The Malzahar ultimate is good at shredding tanks as well, getting that pool down for a lot of percentage HP on the front line. So definitely another good tool that they're using, and Bjergsen has to pick his opportunities to go in.
For a bit there, Impact, of course, very tanky. Arrow's going to hit Jensen. Now it's up for Smoothie to keep them alive. Voldy's going to tag onto 4. They caught Biofrost. Down goes a TSM support. Hook into the back line. Bjergsen's got to be careful on this one. Pops the ulti. A double for Jensen. Redemption. Now it's 3 for him. Impact still alive at the front line. Refuses to go down. It's a hat trick and a double kill for Sneaky.
Clean team fight there from Cloud9, and Contract's got a massive kick all the way through the entire team as well, plus the high priority execution, and that should be Cloud9 moving up into the base and finishing off the series here. Inhibitor's gonna go first, Minions will have to catch up later, but man, what a stark difference from that turret dive.
Absolutely, so it's all she wrote now for this one. The 2-0 is all but secured. This one a little bit faster than the previous, and a little bit, just a bit more one-sided than game one here. Cloud9, this time up the backs of Contract with the insane early game on Lee Sin. 2-0 over TSM.
That Cloud9 hype that was coming from a lot of the scrims and a lot of the analysts. Choo-choo! Here, and yeah, they take down the defending champions.
And I remember when Cloud9 first bust onto the scene, it was with who the heck is this new jungler Meteos? He's destroying everybody. And this, I don't know which version you want to call it of Cloud9, but version Contracts.
2017?
Version 2017. Contracts looks very, very good. Svenskeren, we know as a top flight jungler, and Contracts played better both games. A 5-0 start, 100% of the kills in the early game. Contracts is the real deal.
Contracts is definitely the real deal. All of the laners for Cloud9 also performed very, very well. No, Jensen was setting him up for success. The bottom lane in the first game was setting him up for success. Impact was setting him up in this game, whittling down Hanser, pushing him under the turret, really prepping him for those dives. So this whole Cloud9 team really seems to be firing on all cylinders right now. Their pick ban draft was also something we're going to be keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
Even more importance on that now, and they had some very good ones.
I agree. I've liked what I've seen so far. Cloud9 are going to end day one. The top of the table, 100% game win rate. Of
After
course,
one series, you're North
Yes.
American LCS leader.
woo! That's always going to happen, but C9 are technically alone in first, and their second opponent this week is going to be Team Dignitas. And
New team Dignitas.
the new Team Dignitas, the new look, someday up in the top lane, right? Chaser in the jungle. These are some very, very good players. And that's going to be fun context because Reginald an hour ago said, yeah, Team Dignitas is going to be one of those bottom 5 teams. They're bringing in Koreans, you know, the coordination's going to be rough. Like, what happens if Team Dignitas makes that match better and makes it closer than TSM did?
I like
You know, that's a little
that's why
scary.
you like it when people are open at
Yeah, I love that.
ones, right?
And hey, and look, respect for Reginald for speaking his opinion. I love when people do that, no matter who you are, coming up and saying, this is what I think is correct, this is what I think is wrong, I think this team did it wrong. It makes it more fun when these teams battle off. I mean, I want to see TSM versus Team Dignitas now. That's going to be exciting just because we had the smack talk.
I already wanted to see it, but
Well, I did too,
now
to
it'll
be fair.
be better.
It'll,
Yeah,
it'll
exactly.
be even better than before. And so it's going to be a lot of fun matches. I'm very excited about this. The match we're going to have next one as well is going to be new look for the teams. P1 and Echo Fox are going to be interesting. It's just a cool season.
Those are two teams, Phoenix One and Echo Fox, that
Yes,
are
they
coming
are.
up next.
Sorry.
that had a lot of off-season changes and
Yeah.
actually have a lot higher expectations because of those changes.
Well, we'll see how these teams all look. It's been wonderful casting this series with you guys, but now going to throw it down to Pacey Chime, who's standing by with C9's newest member for an interview on that win.
Thank you very much. I'm here with rookie jungler Contracts after a dominating 2-0 there for Cloud9. You come into your LCS, your first game ever, 2 first bloods in both games, and you beat TSM. How does it feel?
It feels super amazing. At first, I didn't actually think I would have this of a debut. Although this isn't where I want to be yet. I want to be much better than what I am right now. But it was a good first start, yeah.
You're just casually beating TSM 2-0. Seems okay at least. How's C9 been? Of course, you were in the Challenger squad before, but moving into the main team has to feel very different. How have you found their team, the infrastructure, just the whole experience?
Yeah, the infrastructure is definitely different from the Challenger team, but it's really helping me improve day by day. And over time, I think the infrastructure is just going to make me a really, really good player, and I appreciate all the staff at C9.
Well, you're a young and talented player. I have to ask you, I know we're only one series in, but what are your expectations for yourself, and kind of what do you think your ceiling's like?
Well, I just want to be the best jungler I can be for my team, maybe be a top 1, top 2 LCS jungler, and definitely make finals at the end of split.
Well, certainly good start so far. Thank you very much, Contracts, for such a great game. We are going to throw it back to the analyst, though, Desto, for more on that game.
Thank you very much, Pastry. Humble Contracts there in his first series victory of the NALCS season. And the story of the second game really did center around him and the early moves that he was able to make on that Lee Sin to get their team ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did. And he was humble, but he could have got away with being a little cocky if he wanted to.
Yeah, he absolutely
I mean,
could've.
he was huge. Let's be honest. This was massive. Everything he did to really set up their success in this game was impressive. It was really well thought out. He was risk averse, and he was capitalizing on his moments. You know, even pushing Svenskeren out of the jungle before getting that first blood on Bjergsen. They knew there could be no counter ganking, and this guy played it like a seasoned vet.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that's with the fact that he is not a seasoned veteran. We talked about the fact that he had the same or similar level of hype to, say, Dardoch coming in, where this guy's supposed to be super hot on entry, and that's exactly what he was. So far, things looking good. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple replays here. The first one's going to be around the Baron, but this is actually where TSM makes some good moves in the Baron steal itself.
Yeah, I mean, Svenskeren played this very well. I think C9, it was a fine Baron to take. Yes, there's always the risk, but Contract kicks Sven out, Immediate flashback in, some luck there, but really well played to steal the Baron. Now, this is TSM with a one fight, right? That's good for you. You back out. They're able to actually get out of here. They trade the flashes when there is a flash out coming in, but then why would you stay around? It's a 4v5, you're down on gold, you just got Baron.
On 4 members.
There's a Taric there, let's engage on the Taric. And TSM takes a very odd re-engage here. They don't even kill Smoothie. They give up a bunch of kills here, and eventually an inhibitor. So, I mean, this was really a poor decision from TSM.
Yeah, exactly. And this is following a couple very good decisions to stay in the game, which was relying on that Hanser split push on the Trundle to really spread out the map and slow things down up to that Baron steal. Had they just walked out and had, you know, that 3.5 minutes there to just continue to farm up, this could have been a very different game. So, you know, some good decisions, some poor decisions coming out of this TSM squad. And we had some questions with Doublelift out of the lineup. How would their shot calling fall, you know, moving into this season? Clearly, it still needs some work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially you talk about the split push. Baron buff, incredible on a split pusher like Trundle, who was already really starting to take over that matchup. You know, he had kind of outscaled the Nautilus in that 1v1, and you give him the Baron buff, and now you have to send 2 guys to deal with him, and it gives TSM more and more time to farm up, to kind of get to those breakpoints, because they were put very far behind off the bat from contracts.
Right, of course, we did still see one other great fight out of TSM in the top lane, a good re-engage from a Wild Turtle arrow that netted them a couple kills, but then we jump to the game-ending fight. So we follow what was a fantastic fight from TSM with a great engage here from C9.
Yeah, exactly. And the arrow does go in, and this is just showing off how tanky Impact is and the power of that Taric ultimate. We see Contracts and Smoothie pairing up. They land the stun onto the backline. They're able to pile in, and the amount of AoE damage and high DPS champions they have was just incredible there, and I think that really showcased the power of the Taric.
And I love to see the confidence coming out of Cloud9 to continue to take those fights. You know, a number of teams, especially with, say, a new rookie who holds most of the gold on that map, would be a little bit more tentative after just losing a fight to kind of re-engage for a full 5v5 near the Baron. They choose to go for it, knowing that, hey, we still have command of this game, and they can win essentially off of that. Let's move to player of the game. It's going to come as no surprise that it's going to Contracts here in his debut. So one to Jensen last game, one to Contracts here. Let's talk about this guy in the context of the season, because this is a Cloud9 roster that, or rather a Cloud9 organization that was founded upon winning the North American LCS. Well, they're charged with doing that again here with this edition.
And I mean, it's a great start for them. They take down the defending champions. Their rookie looks incredible. Really smart plays across the board. Even things like this, kicking out his opponent, winning the Smite Faith there on the Dragon. You know, he was really making everything looked pretty easy for him. He was never overcommitting his abilities, waiting till the exhaust is able to end there to kill off Bjergsen, and he looked great. And this is one of the best starts I've seen from a rookie in a long time.
The presence of mind in a rookie is what's kind of phenomenal about it, because again, we always talk about composure. Well, it's his first time on the stage. He's going to be operating in the LAN setting. How is he going to deal with the different levels of pressure that come throughout the game? And he seemed to handle himself like a seasoned pro. Again, just 2 games, so we can't go ahead and stamp him. All right, here he is.
Contract season MVP.
He's arrived, you know, best jungler of the season. But in his first showing here, has performed very well. So off to a great start here for Cloud9. Of course, TSM probably would have liked to see things go differently. We've got to take a quick break, and then we'll jump into the second match of the day with Phoenix 1 versus Echo Fox. Don't touch that browser. The NALCS will be right back.
Do you ever just stare at your opponent right now? And just like...
Do you ever just do that, yeah?
Look into their soul and then intimidate them?
Look into that soul.
He's not paying attention to me, but... I'm paying attention to him.
A lot of damage there. Jensen does have ulti available. Exhaust is on. E's going to land. There's the ulti. It's enough damage. Then the Hanser as well. Here comes the attempt to steal. Who's it going to be? Nice kick out. He flies. He gets Baron steals the Baron. Now the fight is on. Yes, they'll get the kill, but that is so worth it in every possible way for TSM. Now it's up for Smoothie to keep them alive. Ulti's going to tag onto 4. Big comp Bio Frost. Down goes a TSM support. Hook into the back line. Bjergsen's got to be careful on this one. Pops the ulti. A double for Jensen. Redemption. Now it's 3 for him. Impact still alive in the front line. Refuses to go down. It's a hat trick and a double kill for Sneaky. Cloud9, this time up the backs of Contract with the insane early game on Lee Sin. 2-0 over TSM.